Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Got another video going on today. We're gonna be doing a bag install on a Scion FRS. I'm gonna be doing some tips and tricks too, showing you guys some pointers for you newbies out there installing these bags. So make sure you guys drop a like, comment, and enjoy the video. Ain't no surprise. Every other night another movie get made. Too hard, don't stay too close. You gon' fuck around and down. This way, doing all these shows. Been on the road, I don't care where I go. Long as I on the way to the shop this morning, got my coffee. It's kind of muggy out, kind of like, you know, rainy and shit, but it's alright. We gonna be inside, so it don't matter, thankfully. Don't make fun of my wipers either. They're stuck. I don't know how to fix it. I haven't really tried to fix it, but they're stuck. I don't know what to do. Like, they work and everything. It's just that's where they end up. I don't know how it happened. One day it was pouring down rain, hit my wipers, and they just fucking stuck. And I was honestly really pissed. But it's whatever. We made it. It's the FRS. Looks a little newer than I thought. It's pretty good. It's gonna look real good once it's sitting on the ground, so we're gonna get this thing pulled in, get it out of the cold. As you can see, it's starting to get a little icy out. Gotta pull this out to save room, so might as well have a little bit of fun, you know, right? Don't go in the oh fuck. There we go. There we go. There. Ah, fuck. Now I gotta pull this one out. It would honestly, like, if someone would buy this car, it would be a great track car. 6-speed transmission. I mean, it's got full DNA headers, active auto works exhaust. I mean, it's a fully loaded, like, Dove Gray coupe, which is pretty rare. A lot of them come tan, and I love the gray. 190K, great cars. All right, pulling the FRS in here. I'm gonna try to squeeze it in the back here, make sure I got enough room still. Ooh, it's slick out. It's slick. All right. We're in. When you don't want to wait for the defrost. Struggle. All right, squeeze it in nice and tight here. Ooh. Plenty of room for this. Plenty. All right, first thing you want to do when you're installing bags, you want to make sure the door is shut on your garage because it's winter and it's freezing. We're gonna close this door. We're gonna get all nice and warm with the heater on. All right, once you guys got this thing up in the air, next thing you're gonna want to do is disconnect the battery. I'll get some light over here once I do that, but want to make sure you guys disconnect the battery just to be safe. You always want to make sure you're doing that when you're doing big jobs like that. All right, once you got your tool, you're gonna want to grab a 10mm. Just take off this here negative terminal. Be good like that. And then next, we're gonna pull the wheels off. All right, so next what I like to do, I like to take all the suspension off first. I like to take the front struts, the rear springs and the rear shocks. That way I can just get, you know, the new struts mounted in, the new shocks and everything. That way it just makes it easier when I run the lines and everything. So what you're gonna wanna do on the FRS, sorry for the shitty lighting. I'm gonna try to do something about it if I can find anything. You're gonna wanna get a 19mm on these two bolts here. Take the top one, the bottom one out, and then you're gonna wanna take this sway bar off as well. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna drop this whole knuckle off from the wheel, or I'm sorry, from the strut. It's gonna drop this down. Then you're gonna come up here and take this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, these top 3 bolts. You're gonna take those out and the whole strut's gonna come right out. So we're gonna do that quick and I'll show you guys an update then.
All right, once you get all that fun stuff off down there, that sway bar is always a pain in the ass, so make sure you guys are prepared for that one. Heat helps, I will say that. You're gonna want to take these top 3 bolts off, so go ahead and zip these off. I'm trying not to lose them here. A little bit on that one, that way it doesn't fall all the way down, but do the same to the other side and they should come right out. Once you got your struts out, next step, grab the bag, fit them up there, see how it's gonna fit. All right, so next you wanna make sure you get this line installed on your bag, your strut, before you actually put it in the car, because it's gonna make it a pain if you get this in the car first without installing a line. And make sure you guys put on some thread sealant tape. It's gonna save you in the long run, because probably 8 times out of 10 these lines are gonna leak if you don't put this on. So just go ahead and slap some on there, that way you know it's good. All right, another thing you guys want to make sure you're doing is changing these sway bars, or not sway bars, sorry, sway bar links. One thing Airlift did was offer you guys these beautiful adjustable sway bar links, so make sure you guys are changing these. The stock ones are significantly longer than the adjustable ones, so that's gonna not allow you to go as low. So make sure you guys are changing these. I know sometimes people are just like, it's just a sway bar link, don't worry about it. Change them, it's gonna perform better too. So make sure you guys are doing that. It's pretty simple to change, so just go ahead and do it while it's out. All right, and you guys want to make sure you guys do the other side before you put the top one in on this side, because then you can push this all the way down and that'll allow for easier access to put that bottom nut on the bottom sway bar on the other side. All right, once you got your sway bar links on both sides, then you can go ahead and figure out where you're going to wire all your cables. That would be your ABS and all that. Make sure that it's going to be sitting in there right. So we're going to put our bottom bolt in. Now remember the holes are coordinated. Your top bolt is your camber bolt. The bottom bolt is standard. Make sure you get those put back in the right spot. All right, so we got to this point. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna repeat this process and knock the front out and then move to the rear. On these FRSs, you know, the BRZs, these models, the 86s, when you do bags, they have these protruding plastic clips that are in here, and you got to go in with a hammer and knock them in, or else your bag is going to rub on those, and they could, you know, it could puncture your bag and cause it to leak. So make sure you guys are knocking these out. I believe they just hold some AC lines, so maybe brace the other side. Be careful not to break the line, but just make sure you knock those out, and then always double check for clearance. Check behind the bag just to make sure, because it would be awful to be riding down the road and a bag go out and you air out while driving. Ask me how I know. I've been there, done that. Maybe I'll do a story time later, but that is definitely one of the scariest things that could ever happen to you. So make sure you guys are making sure that these bags aren't rubbing anywhere. Same thing with the lines. Make sure the lines are going to be rubbing, because you want to make sure this thing's going to hold air and not leak. Even letting it air up all overnight, you don't want it to be leaking. So make sure you're double checking, and you guys shouldn't have any issues. The bag's in there nicely, and we can get our line ran and all that fun stuff. Woo, Bessie. Now that we got the front done, both sides, nice and clean looking, we're gonna take a little break. Get a beer, relax a little bit. Nah, we're just gonna take a little 5-minute break and then get to the rear real quick. In the meantime though, my buddy Jared, he's doing a twin turbo install on this 5.0, as you can tell. we are going to keep going at this FRS, and I'll show you guys how to do the rear here in a little bit. So first step in the rear, you're going to want to take this back piece off here, just a couple little clips like this, and then once you find yourself back here, there are 2 bolts, one right here and then one over there. You're going to take those off. It's a 14 millimeter. Take those off, and that's going to take the top of the strut out. Now Subarus and FRSs, all these, they have true rear coils, so it's not a divorce setup where it's a separate spring from a shock. It's an actual true coil over rear, well in this case strut, but makes it kind of easy to get them out. Sometimes it makes it not, so we're gonna see how this one goes. Should be pretty simple though, just take those out and then the bottom bolts, but we'll get to that when we get there. All right, now for the bottom. So what you're gonna wanna do, this bolt here, and then there's the head of it on the other side. You're gonna take this out, and then that's gonna release the tension, well not the tension, it's gonna release that bottom mounting point. Then what you're gonna wanna do is there's another bolt right here for the actual knuckle. You're gonna wanna take that out, and that's gonna drop this whole control arm down, and that's gonna allow you to pull the actual shock right out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. One thing I've learned in my years of working on cars, extensions and swivels are your best friend. All right, with a little leverage and some persistence, you can get it out. We used a pry bar. I just kind of pried in between the springs and pried it right out. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rear strut and go ahead and mount it up. All right guys, same thing on the rear here. We're gonna be putting the line in first. It's gonna help us out in the long run once we get the bag in the car. So make sure you guys are doing this first and putting thread tape on. It's gonna save you too, because more than likely it's gonna leak. So one side is complete here. That was pretty simple, a lot easier than the front. So we're gonna go ahead and do the rear on the driver's side now to wrap it up here, and then we're gonna move on to the management. Management can be a little tricky at sometimes running lines, but I'm gonna show you guys how to make it easy and simple and not get over your head on it. So here we go. Moving on to the management. We got the rear done, got the front done, so gonna do the management here. While I was here, actually someone stopped and was looking at the 330, the silver one. He was looking at it for possibly a track car time attack, so might not be the one for him considering the damage to the front, but we'll see. He's gonna think about it and let me know. If it does, that'd be awesome. That'll fund my drift build, cool. If not, it's whatever, no big deal. So we're gonna go and attack this management here, and I'll show you guys how we set it up. And here we have the glorious Airlift 3P, the only kit I will ever install. Seriously guys though, if you guys aren't installing Airlift on your cars, you're doing it wrong. Airlift's got the best manifold, the best management, and the best struts on the market. So make sure you guys are buying Airlift, whether you're getting it off Bag Riders or anywhere wholesale. If you are interested in purchasing your kit, let me know. I can get wholesale pricing, so always keep that in mind when purchasing new. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this manifold mounted up. I believe our customer wants this mounted to the wood plank here that he supplied with us. So once you got all your pieces laid out, it's a good time to go and pull everything out of the trunk and just kind of see where you're gonna run the lines at. Thankfully Subaru has these awesome little plugs here. We're gonna pop them out, and that's what we're gonna run our lines through. We'll have to get a little hole drilled through that heat shield there, but that is no issue. And I'm gonna go ahead and route the lines now. So the rear lines were thankfully an easy route. Went up over the subframe and right under the heat shield, straight into here. It's gonna work out great. I'll be able to run these braided lines. into the cabin, which most of the time you're not able to do on cars, so that's a big plus. Now we're gonna go do in the front, try to figure out the best way to route these up. Another thing you guys want to make sure you do too is on these fittings here, you want to make sure you're putting the push connect fittings on. That way you're gonna be able to put the actual soft push connect lines to this. If you don't put it on now, it's probably gonna be a pain later if you route this before, so make sure you guys do that right away, and it's gonna make your life a lot easier. All right, so now that you got your push connects on and everything, it's time to run the lines. We've got some 1/4 inch line here. What I found out to be the best way and the most effective, start where your manifold's gonna be. Run your line that way, run it all the way to the line. That way, when you get there, you push connect it in, and then you trace your way back and you cut it. Because if you try to cut and measure before, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be too long or it's gonna be too short. So route it first to the line and then cut it at the manifold. Alrighty, update, we got all the lines ran. Make sure you guys are tightening these sway bar bolts, the adjustable ones, make sure those nuts are tight. So now we're gonna hook up the management. We're gonna go ahead and mount the manifold, the tank, the compressor. All right guys, sorry if the GoPro died. So anyways, when you're hooking this up, you want to get these fittings installed in your water trap here. Now you want to mount this somewhere where it's going to be sitting like this. Now in this case, we may have to resort to mounting this to the side of the tank just because of how little trunk space there is. Now I am going to try to find somewhere underneath to mount it to make it look a little bit cleaner. So I will try to mount this and then I'll give you an update there. All right, getting the tank set up here. You want to make sure you have a 1/4 inch fitting there for the line to the water trap. A plug in there. I'm gonna have another plug on the other side along with the compressor going in there. And then on the bottom, put one of these fittings for your drain. You want to make sure you have a drain, that way you can drain your tank in the winter time, in the colder months. Actually, you want to keep your tank drained all the time because no water in your tank is good. So make sure you do that. We're actually going to be mounting it to this. So we're going to get the tank mounted, the compressor and the manifold, make sure it sets in there, make sure it clears everything. And then we're going to run the lines up and hopefully get this thing in and out. Alrighty guys, update. I got everything installed. Got the compressor in, got the manifold in, tank, drain line, got all the lines ran. She's ready to go. Just got to put the wheels on, got to hook the battery up. One thing I did do, I ran all the electrical down here and under there, ran it up into the cabin. Super clean, super nice. You can't even really tell where the wires are up here. And then they just come right over here and hook them up, and she's gonna be going up and down. So let me get the wheels put on, let me clean up my mess, and then I'm gonna get the wheels on. I'm gonna show you how to air out. All right, we got business going. So system not calibrated. What you're gonna wanna do is calibrate the system. Now, I'm not gonna calibrate it yet. I'm gonna wait till the wheels are on it to calibrate it because it's gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down. It's gonna judge everything and then make sure all the pressure sensors and everything's working right. So we'll get these wheels put on and be good to go. But everything is sounding good. I already checked for leaks. There's no leaks, so should be good to go. Update, she's on the ground. She's doing her compensation right now. Making sure everything's programmed, making sure it's all calibrated right. Let's work it. Yeah, very straightforward on this. You do your struts first, then your lines, and your management. That's the way I do it. That's the easiest way I've found out to do it. I got here about 10 o'clock. It is now 4 o'clock, so about 6-hour job and about an hour break. So really about a 5-hour job. It's not bad. Anybody could do it. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of hard work. Yeah, not horrible, not horrible. But I hope this video helped to anybody that's watching. I really do. I've never really done a tutorial video before, so please tell me if I can do better at something or improve at anything for this, because I definitely want to do more of these. But this is just the beginning. So really appreciate you guys watching this bag install and this FRS, but stay tuned for next time.